Follow me to the SST Podcast Variety Show. Let me see what segments are on with my two favorite hosts in SST. Subscribe in SST. Play the podcast. Welcome back to the SST podcast. We're two hosts, Alex and Noah, and we got a special guest today joining us.
Introducing special guest and author of the Magic Trio, Ethan. We won't give out your last name, actually, because we haven't said ours yet.
Also, SST Mantis.
Ethan Mantis. SST Mantis.
All right, we're going to start off with our first segment here, which is going to be our recurring covery of the Magic Trio. So today we're going to be looking at Chapter 3, and we're going to be starting that off. Timothy's going to be having a dream, okay? Dreaming of a roaring furnace, and in his dream, he's inside a cave. There's lots of blacksmith forging bracelets in this cave. And what they're doing is carving runes into these forged bracelets and pouring in glowing crystals. And it's noting that they poured crystals of all different colors. Anyways, Timothy wakes up from that dream because his alarm goes off. It actually goes off in such a violent manner that it shakes off the desk. I found that description to be vivid. I was liking that, certainly. And so, anyway, Timothy tries to rationalize his dream, right? Because He remembers that he saw that bracelet the other day, and the bracelet came back in his dream. So he decides to himself that the dreams are just extremes of past events, and he leaves it at that, and he goes and gets his breakfast. And while he's getting his breakfast, he's thinking about what happened the other day and why he ended up, as his aunt says, playing in the mud by that garden. And he decides that it was most likely, the most likely scenario is that he just hit his head somewhere, got knocked out, and then imagined the bracelet entirely. So that's basically how he decides not to think about any of this nonsense and gets on with his day. All right, so Timothy starts school with Stealth 101, or Stealth, what is it?
Stealth
A, sorry. He starts off with Stealth A, and Mr. Cody's taking stock of which students bought their picks from Loose Locks. If you remember, that was the assignment he gave out last time. And unfortunately, Timothy did not buy the picks from Loose Locks. So Mr. Cody's going around the class, checking everybody's picks. And when he comes to Timothy's table, Timothy's sitting by Kayla. Kayla has some picks of her own. Mr. Cody asks Timothy for his picks, so Timothy decides to kick Kayla, try to get her attention, to hand over the picks. And Kayla catches on, hands him the picks. But Mr. Cody is pretty suspicious because Kayla makes a noise when he kicks her, right? So he asks for a further investigation and picks up Timothy's picks. And after he picks them up, he immediately knows that these were Kayla's. But this was actually a blunder on Kayla's part, because instead of going to Loose Locks, she went to this other place, Jeremy's Pick and Rake Shop. That was not on the assignment. I'm thinking Mr. Cody here must have some sort of connection with Loose Locks, because he just gets into a fit of rage after this. He is so angry at Timothy and Kayla. His glasses fall off his head and fall onto the desk, and they shatter apart, okay? That's how angry he was. And as his glasses fall off, the whole class gasps as they see what's underneath them. If you remember from last time, Mr. Cody is described to be wearing very dark glasses. You can't see anything behind them. And it's revealed why. Just rest there. We'll have to see what that's all about. But anyways, the whole class gasps. Mr. Cody, he's even more angry now. His glasses fell off. class is all staring at him, so he just dismisses them right then and there, maybe 5 minutes into the period. I don't know what these kids are going to be doing, but they're out in Mr. Cody's hands now. All right, and now I bet you're all wondering, what was it underneath those glasses that made the class gasp? And as it turns out, Mr. Cody's face is completely covered in gashes and scars from his eyes and above. And Timothy concludes that Mr. Cody must be blind from that, which is, I think, the correct conclusion. All right, so in the next class, Timothy is still a little bit shaken in basic self-defense as he's still thinking about what he saw happen to Mr. Cody. And the whole time he's just a little distracted. He's not really into it. So Mr. Katsuro comes in, tries to get him back on track, but it's not really helping all that much. Timothy's just a bit out of it that class. But fortunately, he's able to pull himself back together for CS. So in CS here, it's sort of, I don't know if you all remember, but in CS, the whole classroom has a big screen around it, and it projects a different area every day. Today, it just so happens to be projecting a scene from the frozen lake in Michigan, where the prologue took place. I found that's quite interesting. Timothy actually asked the teacher about it. Sorry, I forget her name. That's okay.
Mrs. Alanis.
Mrs. Alanis about that, and she confirms it was the frozen lake that was in the prologue. And anyways, for some reason they go over the syllabus now as opposed to the first day. And class is looking pretty interesting. They're going to do some Java, Python, Ruby, and then they're going to be going over big data, which Timothy is not too sure as to what big data entails. And they're also going to learn how to use the terminal, the command prompt. So Timothy leaves CS. He's feeling a little shaken up by that syllabus. But I think he's also glad because there's a lot of stuff there he doesn't know, and especially that's his favorite subject. I'm sure he's excited to learn more. So after that, he goes to circuitry. That's his last class before lunch. And unfortunately for Timothy, yet again, he's forgotten to do the circuitry homework too. I mean, yesterday, it was a rough day for Timothy, getting knocked out by that garden and everything, but this is unacceptable here. So as the teacher's going around and checking everyone's homework, sorry, I should note that as Timothy joins, the teacher tells him that there's a blast ball tryout coming up soon. Now, if you don't know, blast ball is the school's big sport. It's a mix of paintball and laser tag. And soccer, I should say. We haven't gotten too much more information on that yet, but we do know that it's most likely going to be playing a part in the coming chapters. So anyways, the circuitry teacher tells Timothy about that and encourages him to join the tryout, or at least the meeting. It's going to happen before the tryout. Timothy's not too sure at first, but then after he realizes he'd forgotten his homework, he is, and I quote right here, he was infuriated with himself. Could he do anything right? Timothy is having a rough day. So the teacher's coming around checking off the homework, and when she sees that Timothy is clearly in some sort of state of disarray, she offers to forget about the whole situation with the missing homework if he just goes to the blast ball tryout. She clearly wants to get him on the team. Maybe she sees something in him. So Timothy agrees to that, even though, as part of the punishment for Mr. Cody, he has to stay after class for the whole week, helping Mr. Cody organize his locks and such. So he agrees to that, knowing that he won't be able to make it. And as soon as he agrees to it, he realizes, and he's having some of his angry thoughts. There's no other way to put it. He's not too happy with himself. But that's all for his first 4 classes before lunch. Now he goes to lunch in the library. It's per usual, where he sits with Keyshawn, Lucille, and I think Felix as well. And anyways, while he's there, he's interrupted by Corbin, who at first comes in. He just asks, how's it going? Keyshawn's eating something, so he can't really respond. And then Corbin notes that they're all nerds if they're eating in the library, which makes me wonder what Corbin was doing in the library during lunchtime, if not eating. So maybe he's just going around antagonizing the other students, but or maybe he was just eating in the lunch. So with that, Corbin and his other muscular friends, they leave the library.
After noting that Felix was the one who won the combat simulation.
Oh,
so give him a little,
my bad. I
applause,
forgot about
some
that
praise
part.
for that.
That's sure to infuriate Timothy even further. He's already having a bit of a problematic relationship with Felix, and it's noted that during the lock-picking class, with Mr. Cody, stealth class with Mr. Cody, his first instinct was to ask Felix for help finding with some spare picks to show off, but Felix was across the room, and Timothy was concerned that may be a conscious choice to distance himself from Timothy, especially after the little rift that occurred after their previous match in the VR simulation, where it didn't go too well for them. Actually, it did go well for Felix, but Timothy was not too happy. He didn't get any credit for that win. All right, back on track. Where were we? Just finishing up lunch, and they're going to weaponry. Now, this is probably my favorite class that the students are taking. Mr. Esmond here, he's got to be the best teacher. Today, he unveils the pride of the school, the biolaser. And in a crazy tech demo, he shoots the biolaser through a glass sphere, or a glass container, we'll say, at a plant inside, vaporizing the plant. Now, Timothy, rightfully so, is a little skeptical as to why these weapons are just lying around in this high school. And he asks Felix, why are the weapons here more advanced than what the military's got? But Felix doesn't want to hear it. He loves the weapons. He loves Mr. Esmond. He loves the combat sims. Get him back into the sims. Today they got King of the Dunes. I want him in King of the Dunes. King of the Dunes. I know that's what you're all here for. They're going into the simulation. It's a desert fight, okay? They're all dressed up like they would be in the desert. They got like stuff all over their head and loose clothes and
old-fashioned rifles.
Old-fashioned rifles, okay. And the objective of this King of the Dunes game here is to find this golden bracelet that's been hidden somewhere in the map and then hang on to it for a certain amount of time. I forget how long was that. And if you hang on for it for...
as long as you can.
As long as you can.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, and then you win the simulation. And you know Timothy, he wants to get on that winner's wall, so he's about to do anything he can to secure this one. So right off the bat, Timothy, he's a little bit distracted in the simulation, to say the least. He's kind of scoping out the area. He likes to start these off slow every time to sort of test the parameters of the simulation. He's often concerned by how real the simulation is, and noting that all this comes up later. He wonders if he could drown if he jumps into the water. And that would be in real life, like die, and not just in the simulation. So
it's a more vivid simulation. There's like sights, sound. Like you can even feel certain things. Obviously, you can die in it, but that's pretty very vivid.
Whatever tech they got in Mr. Esmond's class, it's certainly what we need for modern gaming anyways. So right off the bat, Felix approaches Timothy from behind, and he has his gun drawn. He's ready to kill Timothy, but Felix hesitates because they are friends after all. So Timothy, hearing him approach, flips around, neutralizes the threat, which is Felix, and then the two have a bit of a talk really quick, and then out of nowhere someone starts shooting at them and kills Felix. It's a disaster. Felix blames Timothy for killing him, saying that he would try to win at any cost. Timothy is not sure what to do because he knows he didn't kill him, but he also can't really talk to Felix now that he's out of the game. So he just carries on with playing the simulation and trying to find that golden bracelet to get on the winner's wall. And he overhears some other people talking while he's sort of skulking around the dunes. They say that someone spotted the bracelet in the bazaar that's near the center of the map, I believe. So Timothy heads over to the bazaar with a lot of the other students because there's a sandstorm approaching that's kind of driving everyone more indoors. But he actually doesn't go indoors after everyone does, and instead goes over to the oasis. Now, maybe Ethan, I don't remember this part all too well, so could you fill me in on why he went over to the oasis?
Well, I know at one point there's a sandstorm that starts picking up, and in the sandstorm you can't really stand outside very long, so either go indoors or the oasis. And I think he sees a glimmer of gold underneath the water, which draws him over to that area. So,
all right. Thanks for filling me in there. So anyways, he jumps right into the oasis because he sees this glimmer of gold, goes down in, and it is the golden bracelet, of course. So Timothy, in a way, braves the sandstorm by going underwater, which does save him from the sandstorm, and gets this golden bracelet. But as he's coming back to win with golden bracelet in hand, he's shot on sight by his rival Corbin. It's all too predictable how this one ended for poor Timothy. Corbin is gloating about his victory to no end. The teacher asks him, what's his name? Corbin says, you can call me Corbin, and you'll be seeing a lot more of me. So that just making Timothy's blood boil right here. Timothy knows he was the one who got the bracelet. He was the one who braved the desert storm. It's noted that once he gets the bracelet, the storm clears away. And that's, I think, why Corbin got back out of the bazaar to take it from Timothy, even though Corbin claims he braved the storm himself to get the bracelet. And Mr. Esmond goes along with that, even though he probably knows what actually happened. But Corbin gets up on the winner's wall. And at the end here, similar to what Mr. Esmond gave to Felix, he gives Corbin a note on it, and Timothy vows to find out what is on these notes that Mr. Esmond is handing out to the winners. And that's where our story ends, with Timothy just very, very curious as to the nature of these notes. All right. Do you want to go into any further analysis?
I think we'll do a brief discussion of some themes and also some Q&A with the author.
Sounds good.
I think my biggest question is, what would you say were your biggest influences for this book? Obviously, we get King of the Dunes, so we know Dune was a big influence. And we have Blast Ball, which is clearly Ender's Game. But what else?
Well, I think this book had a very big Harry Potter influence because it's a school, and instead of being a school of magic, it's a school of technology. Also, Blast Ball could be my form of Quidditch. And Mr. Felix is a little bit, or not
Mr.
Felix.
Felix.
Mr. Esmond is a bit like, I forget that one teacher in Hogwarts who like favors certain students over. I don't remember his name, but there's probably a lot of them. The other influence could be Ready Player One, or one of the books that had the VR simulations. It even mentions the Oasis in
That's
there.
true.
I don't know if that was subconscious, but I really enjoyed the concept of a battlefield where people weren't actually getting hurt, but they could make decisions that influence their progress in the book. So, yeah, I mean,
Were there any battle royale games that influence kind of how these combat scenarios are going?
well, when I was writing this book, I was, I think, 15 years old, and Fortnite was pretty big. So it could have been that. Clash Royale was another Royale game, but it's not quite the same.
I would have loved to see him in an arena setting like Clash Royale.
I think Corbin would be the barbarian, probably.
No, Corbin would be an elite barbarian.
Damn.
Timothy might be more like a goblin. And Felix can be the skeleton.
Skeleton's not that good, though.
Well, instead the skeleton, Felix is really short, and that's about it. He's short and has red hair. All right, that's quite a lot of influence for this book.
I think one part of the book that we kind of glossed over is the comedy. In Lucille and Keyshawn in the library in particular are sort of a dynamic duo of comedy when it's revealed that Keyshawn broke his uniform badge by putting it in the washing machine. At which point Lucille says, "That's why it's broken. You washed the badge for goodness sake," and throws her hands up in the air. Quite dramatic. Can we expect more comedy from this duo, sort of bringing a lightness to an otherwise tense and aggressive story?
Well, I can't quite remember, but I know Keyshawn was written as the jokester character. He's a little bit of a goofball sometimes. He likes very specific radio stations. He, washes his badge and breaks it, which I think has implications later in the story because it no longer functions properly.
He doesn't get it replaced.
You just can't get into certain rooms anymore.
But I'm pretty sure it has implications later.
If the missiles come out of Mr. Esmond's room, I'd safe to say Keyshawn's in trouble with no badge. To
Better
ward them
hope they're
off.
duds.
And Timothy definitely adds some humor later. Or I mean Felix, I don't know. They're both a little dynamic duo as well. Although right now it's a low point where Timothy and Felix have a bit of a rivalry going on. You're not sure whether Felix is joining sides with Corbin. So,
Well, I think he is. I'm certain that Felix and Corbin are going to team up in the blast ball team. That's what I want to be seeing. Corbin's ready to become the captain. That's what he says during, what is it, their self-defense class, that he was really excited to be the team captain. And as a freshman, that would kind of be a bit of a crazy turnout for him. I don't know if he's going to get that. But Corbin can dream. And
Well,
with
we
Felix at his side,
knew Corbin was on a select blast ball team somehow.
yeah, that
right?
was shocking to me. I said that blast ball was kind of like the school-specific sport.
He was training ahead of time. Maybe that's how he got into the school.
Oh, he was a recruit.
yeah.
The scholarship.
Just like those Roosevelt recruits.
You can't put that in. No one's gonna know what that means.
That's fine. We'll cut that out. That was a crazy
We'll
story,
put that
though.
in the podcast.
All right.
The downfall of Timothy is definitely a theme we noted last month, and one we continue to see here. Timothy just keeps failing at even the most basic tasks. He can't get his homework done. He's like trying to borrow lockpicks and making enemies. Even Felix seems to turn on him now that he couldn't even make it onto the winner's wall.
Could he do anything
Do we
right?
expect further downfall for Timothy? Is there some way he can pull himself together in these next few chapters? Is Blast Ball his path to redemption?
Well, I don't want to spoil too much, but I remember Blast Ball not being so great for Timothy. There may be some injuries that occur.
Well, I'm thinking that it's got to be the combat simulation. I'm thinking the next game is going to be a Fortnite Battle Royale, and Timothy is going to stomp the competition. This is going to be a meta reference right here.
I do know, yeah, Timothy's got himself into a tricky situation because he's agreed to stay after hours with Mr. Cody, but he needs to go to the Blast Ball tryouts, so we'll see what happens there. And I think also he may be at a low point now, but the magic bracelet will be coming to play very soon, and that'll take Timothy a little higher. So
I'm thinking if he whips out that magic bracelet during the Blast Ball game, it's a
He's got it
assured
on
victory.
lock.
Unless he starts hallucinating again and falls down and starts to play in the mud. That wouldn't be good now, would it?
yeah, so you can see that his interaction with the bracelet has affected his cognition a little bit. He has some weird visions during the night, maybe affecting his ability to do homework. I don't know why.
That's true. The circuitry homework didn't sound too tough, but
Well, we also just had to buy lockpicks. So it's an errand more than an assignment.
I wonder if he's going to buy the lockpicks after all. Or maybe he'll forget so long that Mr. Cody will get mad at him again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if the loose locks picks are any better than the ones he got, but I know Mr. Cody is a pretty stickler to the rules. He likes integrity, honesty, people playing fair, which is why he's mostly very frustrated when Timothy was dishonestly using Lucille's
Kayla's
lockpick. So it might not have been that he was using the wrong store, but that he was being dishonest about it.
Yeah, but does Mr. Cody have any connections with loose locks? Or is that just his favorite of the two lockpicking stores that happen to be adjacent to this high school? You know, I've never been to a lockpicking store.
You know,
I mean, it's just they're like locksmiths exist.
Sure,
yeah.
They sell picks there.
I think it's just the gold standard that
The gold. It's like Snap-on.
Oh my god.
in the lock-picking industry, the black
These
market, it's the
lockpicks
gold.
aren't working.
And me a loose locks. And me a loose lockpick.
I do have a set of lockpicks at home. You need a
You should
demo.
have, are they from
loose
loose locks?
No, they're from Curiosity Archive or something weird. I don't know what it's called. Actually.
It must be something akin to whatever the other shop was called. Jeremy's pick and rake shop. No,
Yeah,
those are
that
just
one sounds
subpar.
like he's not just a locksmith. That really sounds like he just sells lockpicks.
Maybe that's why Kayla went. She was confused when she went to the loose locksmith's place and decided that the pick and lock shop across the street was a much better option. I think it's enough on these loose locks for right now.
We could call that a segment. That was
Yeah.
about 20 minutes.
Okay.
I appreciate you having me on the show. I'm glad to talk more about the book later if you have additional questions.
Yeah, leave your questions in the comments, and
Leave your questions in
Ethan
the
will be
comments.
answering all your big theories about the magic trio.
Should we
Hopefully you won't
post
give too
like a
many
link to the
spoilers.
book? Could we do that, Ethan? Like,
Yeah,
for the
you
fans.
could do that, yeah.
Okay, we'll post it.
You'll actually be able to read it yourself now.
We're actually only gonna post chapter 4. It's gonna be chapters 1 through 4.
We tease each
It's a
chapter.
read along.
Of
It's a
course,
read
it's
along with the
read-along,
podcast.
Yeah, which is always what it was supposed to be.
Right.
All right, we'll cut to our next segment, a revamp of the typical Melee Minute to accommodate for our new guest. We're breaking out Mario Kart Minutes. Sure. All right, welcome to our new take on Melee Minute, Mario Kart Minute. This is where we discuss 3 news stories for about 1 minute each over the course of a Mario Kart race. The winner is whoever wins the race and accurately discusses their news stories the most, I guess. We're going to begin with Ethan's story and go to a new one each lap. All right, welcome to Mario Kart Minutes.
Okay, my story is renowned Seattle artist Bosky.art reportedly sells NFT for 2 million Bigfoot coin. The anonymous the image in question depicts the digital rendering of Bigfoot falling from the World Trade Center in New York City. The buyer, we reached out to the buyer, who is Monster Bizarro, crypto enthusiast and hunter of cryptids. He gave us a few simple words. He said, Crypto is up. Pump that Bigfoot coin. Declined to comment any further. After those wise words, I'll just say a disclaimer: SST is not being sponsored by any cryptocurrency or Bigfoot coins, so buy that with discretion. That's the end of my story.
I think I have to say this is a shocking turn of events for the highly acclaimed and well-known Bodsky.art to resort, and that's the end of our first story.
All right.
Okay, our next story consists of what some are calling the greatest moment in television history, the crossover event between It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Abbott Elementary. Now, as an avid fan of one of those 2 shows, I have to say, I'm hyped. I have to wonder, though, what do my co-hosts think? Is this truly the greatest crossover or the greatest event in television history?
Yes.
I've never heard of that, but I've heard of another Abbott, and I can tell you it's going to be a lot.
That's what I like to hear. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. All right, that's enough of that.
We're not on the
no,
third
we're not on
lap yet.
3.
You better come up with
I don't know
something.
anything about these shows, but I think there's an elementary school. Abbott Elementary.
Okay, we're on
maybe
lap
it's
3.
about
We're on lap 3.
Okay, our last story is about this girl who found a strange animal in her backyard. Thought it was a lizard. When she took it to the vet, he said, "Watch out! You're going to want to be looking out for animals like these." I call it the devil's tortoise. Okay, this is a dark black tortoise that has a very long neck and tail, very small, fits in this girl's hand. You don't want to be seeing these tortoises. Apparently, they're extremely venomous. Luckily, she wasn't bitten by this tortoise, but anyone who sees a devil tortoise, you gotta watch out. What are your thoughts on these devil tortoises running amok in Philadelphia?
I think we'll go Ethan first.
I would say that the idea of a devil tortoise sounds pretty concerning running amok. I mean, I think we need maybe like an angel tortoise to get that thing under control. But I'm not really sure.
I have to question if this is some sort of, and that is it.
Oh, I'm still going.
Okay, well, I don't know how we call it then. If some
I
of
have
the
my own
racers are
thoughts on these
still-
devil tortoises. It's a disaster.
And what might they be?
Well, I'm thinking that we need to get our hands on one of these tortoises. They're really so bad.
They sound kind of like a
Over.
cryptid, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And I'm thinking we need to call in Monster Bizarro to deal with this.
All right. right. Well, that's it for
I'm sure Bodsky will be cooking up a tower jumper tortoise.
next NFT line. That's it for this
Here we go.
week's Mario Kart Minutes. Okay. Welcome back to our D&D segment in the world of Pyruvia. Today we're going to begin with Nomeo Gunnel going to his first class at his first day at University of Pyruvia, known as UP. Nomeo, you have moved into the cheapest student housing you could find, and your roommate has not shown up yet.
That's rough.
You go out exploring a little too late the day before the first day of class, and you oversleep, forgetting that you were supposed to register for AA 101. That's Advanced Acrobatics, one of the few physical education courses suited to your major at MAT. That is where we begin with you waking up late for class.
Well, I'd like to go to class, so I ought to head over.
Okay, you head out, make a beeline for the AA 101 building.
Do I have my stuff with me? Do I need to bring anything to this class?
No, it's the first day. There
Okay.
were no requirements beforehand.
All right, get me in.
As you stumble out of your dorms, you notice a large group of students in black robes sort of shifting around together. Why don't you go ahead and roll perception on them real quick?
11.
Okay, that is not going to be high enough to notice anything.
Well,
So
I know
you-
the thieves can't, though. I'm assuming these are thieves, right?
They're not speaking. Thieves can't. You can try to listen to them.
Can I roll again?
No.
Okay, fine. Can
You
I go in closer?
Yeah,
Can I go in for a closer look?
sure. You can go in and try to inspect them. Give me investigation. Keep in mind you are running late for class.
That's all right.
now.
I need to know what these hooded figures are.
You can roll investigation. That
I
will
don't know what mine
be
is.
just roll a d20. That's -1.
Oh, I hide it this time. 12.
Okay, that's still not high enough.
What?
So I'll say you go up to these students and you like try to listen in on their conversation, but you can't tell what language they're speaking or if they're even talking at all. They're definitely making noises, but it's kind of a like guttural sounds. You're not sure what they're saying.
All right, that's enough of this then. I'm going to go to class.
Okay. You're going to head to your Advanced Acrobatics 101 class, which is in a like a lecture hall for some reason.
Shoot.
And you see that there is one seat left open. But before you can sit down, we need to cut over to our guest's character, Corbane, the Noble. You are also beginning as a freshman at UP, but as you are quite rich, you do not live anywhere near campus, but instead in a private suite. You also sleep in a bit, but you are awoken by your butler, who says, Mr. Eng, I do believe it is your first day at UP. Did you remember to sign up for your classes?
I don't believe so.
Might I suggest you attend AA 101? As you are a fighter, it is suited to your physical skills.
I
Is there
agree.
anything I can do for you, sir? He gives you like a glass of orange juice and like some eggs or something for breakfast.
Mm. No, I throw the orange juice out the window. He's not looking. Corbane.
Would you like a fresh glass, sir? Was that not to your liking?
It's very sour, too acrid.
Might I suggest a glass of milk instead, then, sir?
I would like a Coke.
I don't believe I've heard of this Coke before, sir. Are we maybe in a magic world where modern beverages don't exist?
Okay, it's all right. I'll go to AA.
Okay. You head out. You were awoken on time by your butler, but you live so far from the school you still end up running pretty late. Along the way, though, you pass through the large, courtyard quad area, and you see the same group of black-robed students. Roll a perception check.
Oh,
13.
13. That's not enough, surely.
13 is not enough. You don't notice anything particularly interesting about these students.
He's a dud.
Would you like to continue to your class? This DC is harder. There'll be an easier one later because this will come back. Okay.
Okay, I'll keep going.
You head on to class. You manage to find the AA 101 lecture hall. You do arrive late, but just as you show up, you do see that there's one seat left open. Okay, now both of you are in the same room. You both need to take this class for your major, and there's one seat left open.
Get the Warhammer out.
The seat is mine. I'm gonna bring out my thieves' tools to steal the seat, is all I can say.
So what are you going to do with those exactly?
I'm gonna disassemble the seat. I'm assuming it's bolted to the, whatever wall it's attached to. I'm gonna move it somewhere else with the thieves' tools.
Okay, Nomio acts first. He goes and starts trying to remove the seat from the ground. Corbain, is there anything you want to do?
I'm going to throw the hand axe at him to stop him from No, actually, at his tools, to destroy the tools.
Okay, sure. Make an attack roll, I guess. So that'll be a D20. Your hand axe is +5.
This is
what are you
good.
attacking here exactly?
I'm attacking
the thieves' tools?
well, I guess, have you already gotten the thieves' tools out?
The tools are out. Well, there's a bag, so I'm working with the screwdriver now or something.
No, I'll make a show of force, actually, but no harm. I'll just throw it in his general direction.
Okay, and intimidation, sure. I mean, you can still roll with that.
13.
Okay, that's +5, so I'll say it strikes rather close to Nomio. And you probably flinch at least a significant amount, Alex, based off of that.
My sleight of hand makes it look like I didn't flinch, though, so
You can
I
roll
think
to
I'm okay.
suppress your flinch.
What is that?
Yeah, roll sleight of hand, sure.
How do I?
Your dexterity is +2, and your sleight of hand
Okay.
is +2, so +4.
7. So an 11.
That's still not that good. I'll say your hands are shaking, but your whole body doesn't move. You manage to keep yourself still.
That's how Nomio gets it done.
Before either of you can act again, the professor steps in. This is Professor Lucy Dent. I will not tolerate disruption in my class. If you need to appeal for registration, both of you will see me in my office afterwards if you want to petition for this course. She attempts to usher you out of the room and tells you that if you do need to take AA or 101, you should meet her in her office later.
Well, that just won't do. I'm taking the seat with me.
You did not have time to remove the seat.
How much should I get removed?
I don't know, you got one screw out.
Can I take the screw
You
then?
could take the screw.
I mean,
Roll
it's a-
sleight of hand to take the screw.
9.
+4.
13.
I'll have her roll opposed perception, I guess. Although I don't really have stats for her.
She is
She gets a
nearsighted.
15.
She's
on her
nearsighted.
face. She notices you have the screw and she snatches it out of your hand as she pushes you out.
Dang.
Okay. Both of you are sent out to the courtyard. And as you step outside, you notice that the number of students in black robes has increased, even though classes should have started and they should have gone to class. There's a massive number of students everywhere now, or seemingly students. You can both make investigation checks now.
Okay.
So Alex or Nomio has
I get
minus
two, right?
1.
Okay.
And
17. So 16.
okay, you passed.
Let's
Ethan,
go.
you can make investigation too. You also are minus 1.
9. Wait, no,
It's a
6. Oh,
He's dumb as a
no.
brick. This Corbane.
Okay, Alex, and this makes sense too because Nomio had investigated them either. You realize that there's this stench coming off of these students, and they really weren't saying anything in any language at all before. These students are rotten to the core. They're zombies. Ethan, you do not realize this. So, Alex, you'll gain +5 on your initiative roll, which will come up in just a second. Immediately after you realize this, Nomio, the shambling crowd roars to life, falling upon the few actual students in the courtyard quickly before rushing for the buildings. Emergency sirens blare to life just as the screams of the fallen students are silenced. A trio of figures, which Nomio knows to be zombies, and Corbane is not too sure about yet, rush both of you. Now you roll initiative, and we're doing combat. Alex, you get to add 5 because you noticed they were zombies.
11. So 16.
Okay.
Do I add anything or no?
You might. I think you add nothing.
12.
Okay, now I need to roll for the zombies. Okay, 2 of them will go before both of you.
That's
And
impossible.
one of them will go
What was
after.
it,
They
19?
rolled pretty hot. Okay, I'm going to say they're going to go for... The first 2 are going to go for Corbane. Because it looks like the easy target. He didn't suspect them. The first 2 zombies rush you. And this one's going to make an attack. That's a 12. What do they get? They get +3. 15. That's too low for Corbane. He shrugs off the first hit.
He's the beast. What is going
The
on?
second zombie targets him as well. Oh, that's an 8. That's far too low. Okay. The first 2 zombies missed. Nomio gets to act now.
I'm
2
booking
zombies.
it back into the classroom.
2 zombies have closed around Corbane. There are none near you right now. No.
Oh, no.
No zombies near me. Can I try to steal one of Corbane's weapons?
I'm not totally
Would I be able
sure
to
how
wield
that
them if I
mechanic
took one?
works.
I have the thieves.
No, you can't wield most of them anyway. I think you
Okay.
can wield his hand axes.
But I'm booking it back into the lecture hall. I'm luring the zombies to the prof. What's her name? Dent.
Lucy Dent.
Lucy Dent is
Lucy
about to get the
Dent,
zombies
the
on.
prof. Okay,
What if Lucy Dent
so
is a
you just
zombie?
book it whatever your speed.
I have
is,
25
right?
feet.
25
I wasn't very far from the door. I just got out.
Yeah,
right?
you're back inside.
Let's
Also,
go.
you can't make it to the classroom yet. You'll need one more move. Okay, Ethan, you have 2 zombies closed around you. Or rather, Corbane.
I think I go for the one-handed warhammer with the shield out.
Okay, that'll be make a d20 roll +5. The zombies aren't too hard. to
16.
It's demolition job on the zombie.
hit. Okay, yeah, you definitely hit the zombie. Now roll one-handed warhammer is a d8 +3 for your damage.
It's a 6.
Okay, you do 9 damage. You smash into this zombie's rib cage for 9 damage, but he's still standing. The last zombie. Did you do anything to try to taunt the zombies? No, Mio, because the other 2 are already fighting.
We'll say yes.
They're running after you.
Like threw a piece of bread at the zombie or something.
Okay, let's say you threw a piece of bread at the lone zombie.
Yeah.
So the lone zombie will run after you. Its speed is actually only 20 feet, so it doesn't manage to catch up to you. It enters the building behind you, though. We'll move back to the top of initiative. The two zombies on Corbane are still going for it, even though they didn't have too much success. Okay, that's it. One hit for the first zombie. And the second zombie, that's going to be a miss. One zombie hit does 3 damage. So you can subtract 3 from your current hit points. Go down to 10.
Does he get infected by the zombie?
Oh, yeah.
No, they're not really that good. All right, it's to Alex now. You have a zombie, we'll say 10 feet behind you.
Okay.
And you're inside.
I'm going to call to the prof, tell her there's a new student who wants to sign up. And promotion and point to the zombie.
You scream out to the prof, but I say you don't have to roll for this. You notice sounds of screams coming from the classroom, screams and like guttural zombie sounds. And you hear lots of fighting from inside the room. The prof does not respond. You can still take an action.
Okay, then I'm going to run back outside past... Wait, no, the zombie would catch me if I did that. I'm going to think what I can do.
Hide in the
I'm going to
bathroom.
attempt to use my charisma on the zombie. I'm going to tell him to stand down.
Okay, sure. Make a persuasion check.
I think I have 0 on that. 8!
The zombie is completely unfazed. You tell the zombie to stand down,
That's right.
and he kind of keeps lumbering. We'll say that does take your action this time.
Shoot.
So you've got to make a roll for it. Okay, Corbane, it's back to you. You've managed to do a sizable amount of damage to this zombie.
I'm going to take a two-handed warhammer this time. On both of them.
I think you can only attack one.
Oh, one of them.
But the big swing hits them both.
But presumably the one that you already injured.
Okay, maybe I'll do that then. 12.
Plus 5. That's definitely going to hit. You get to roll a d10 this time. A 10-sided die.
It's the D10, I think.
I think
Yeah,
so.
the 0 is a 10.
3.
Oh, it's rough.
Plus
Okay, that's going to be 6 more damage to the zombie. Any particular way in which you injure it?
I think sever. I don't know.
You can't do anything that would kill it because it's not dead.
Not dead. Oh no! I just bash him in the side of the head.
All right, the zombie's concussed. It bounces off the side of its head though, and the zombie's skull remains intact.
These zombies are tough. What the heck?
Wait, I already did. How much damage did I do to him so far?
15 damage.
Dang.
The
got a lot of
zombies are
health.
kind of tough. They don't hit a lot, but they can take some hits. So I wasn't sure how easy or hard it would be. Okay, Alex, the other zombie, or Nomeo, I should say, the other zombie is gonna catch up to you on this turn.
Okay.
I don't think you moved. You just told him
I
to
didn't.
stop. He's gonna take a hack. Okay, that's a reroll. Oh, it's a terrible miss. Perhaps
That's
the
huge.
zombie was phased by your words.
I think I was so short, he just couldn't reach that
He
far
takes
down.
a swipe at where your head would be if you were a normal height, but unfortunately it completely misses. We're back to the top of the order with the 2 zombies
Uh-oh.
on Corbane. They're gonna do their best. That's an 8 plus 4. That's no good. Or 8 plus 3. Second zombie,
Oh no.
17. And I believe you dropped your shield to do a 2-handed attack. So I'm pretty sure ties go to the attacker. That's going to be a hit for the second zombie. Oh, it's a tarot. It's 2 damage. It's 2 damage.
Uh-oh.
With your guard down, the zombie manages a pretty weak punch, but it still lands. Okay, back to Nomeo.
Alright, I have an interesting play cooked up here. I think I'm gonna try to cut off the zombie's hand with my rapier and put it in my burglar's pack.
You can try to do that. Make a weapon attack with your rapier.
+4.
Yeah.
1!
That's a
So
critical.
five.
Oh no, ones are a guaranteed
one?
fail. It's actually a critical fail.
Shoot.
So I'm gonna say roll that attack again against yourself.
Oh no.
Oh no.
6.
Okay,
Plus
that's
4.
not gonna hit you.
Okay.
You narrowly don't stab yourself directly in the foot. That goes to Corbane.
I'm gonna use my charisma on the wounded zombie to turn him against the other one. With a 3 persuasion.
Okay, sure. You can roll persuasion.
Is that a d20?
Yeah, D20.
Reroll it. Oh,
Oh
no.
no, it's a
It
5.
was a 16 on the ground, but I didn't want to count that.
So it's an 8 total. The zombie is gonna be. We'll say the zombie makes a save against this. Nope. The zombie saves and is unconvinced by your words. Now it's the zombie fighting Alex. Oh my god. 21 to hit. That's definitely higher than your AC. The zombie rolls for damage. It's 5 damage.
That's shocking. I don't know.
I wasn't sure if these guys were tough or not.
Zombie's definitely tough.
Kind of roll.
You got too much health, I think.
Okay, the two zombies fighting.
Oh no.
Corbane
Can I stab my
now.
shield out again?
Yeah, sure, because you didn't do an attack, so you're back up to 19 armor. That's gonna miss. Oh, it's a critical miss for the zombie.
Oh my.
We'll say that was the healthy one, and he's gonna attack his friend
Oh,
instead.
I persuaded him, I guess.
He's gonna hit. He's gonna hit his friend on a critical fail. He's only gonna do 2 damage though.
So now
He
he
brings his friend down again, but he's still standing.
has 17 damage so far.
Okay, that's gonna go to Nomeo.
Can I use my herb kit to try to cure the zombie of his blight?
You can. I'll let you roll for it. The DC
Okay.
will be a nat 20.
Oh.
You're in combat. He's not like a test
Oh, okay.
subject.
In that case, I'm gonna use.
And you're not like a wizard or anything.
I'm gonna throw my burglar's pack over his head and then make a break for it.
Okay, we'll say if you're successful, you can blind him for a turn.
Cool. Can I still run if
let's
I do
say
that?
sleight of hand. Yeah, you can still run.
Okay, so can I run even if I fail?
Yeah,
Okay.
but he'll get an opportunity attack
Where
if you
is-
leave.
So sleight of hand is my dexterity, is that?
Dexterity and probably proficiency.
So I think that's +4. Yeah,
Yeah, +4.
16.
Okay, he'll roll opposed dexterity. Let's just say these zombies are not dexterous. That's gonna be a 7.
Let's
You
go.
managed to pull it over the zombie. The zombie is currently blinded. It doesn't know where you are. And you can run away safely.
Okay, I'm gonna run out the. Is there like a back exit to this building or something?
Why not? You run out a different door.
Okay, I'm gonna run out a different door to somewhere where there's not the quad area. Some
Okay.
like back street in the campus.
You do see some stray zombies and some stray people at this back entrance, but for now they seem to be distracted fighting.
Okay.
And you're 25 feet away from the zombie, so it won't be able to catch up to you.
It won't know where I went. It's blinded by my bag.
All right, that's to Corbane.
Can I? Does using my second wind count as a turn?
No, you can use it as a bonus action, which
Okay.
means you can take a regular action too.
I'll use that first maybe to recover some health.
Okay, yeah, I think you roll a d10
Okay.
plus your constitution.
A 6.
Okay, that was a d8,
Oh,
but
wait.
it's a pretty good roll
Oh,
either
shit.
way. I think you're back to max either way.
Okay.
You go back up to 13.
Disaster.
And you can still take an attack.
Then I'm
or
gonna go for
attempt
my
some other action.
single-handed warhammer on the injured zombie.
Okay, this might bring him down. That's a d20 roll.
Let's see it.
8.
Ooh, 13.
8 plus 5, that's going to be good enough. The zombie's AC is terrible. So roll a d8 for a one-handed warhammer.
This is the D8.
Yeah, that's the d8.
8.
Oh, it's devastating. You absolutely decimate this zombie.
Plunges into his heart.
No warhammer.
Do you have notes about how you kill him?
Well, I also wait, no, never mind. I hook him with my shield and then plunge it through his heart. That's how he dies.
Brings the shield back out. Okay, the zombie's gonna actually get to make a roll. They have undead fortitude. When they die, they get a chance to survive the damage. Though you did do pretty massive overkill, so the DC is pretty high. Oh, it's a critical fail. The zombie crumbles into nothing. That zombie is eliminated. Okay, now we have the zombie that was attacking Alex. This one's gonna be kind of lost, I feel like.
It's out of the call. I think it's just done. I think it's got the bag
I'll
on
say
its
it
head.
uses its turn to remove the bag, and it doesn't see Nomeo or Corbain anymore. It's just kind of alone in this hallway. So we'll say it stumbles outside. I'll roll.
Is it the main exit or the
Yeah,
secret
I'll roll a
exit?
d6
Okay.
to see which exit it takes. And we'll say main exit is
I think main
5
exit's
or
higher.
6, and secret exit is 1, and 2, 3, or 4 it just goes somewhere else.
Okay.
1.
That's a 1. It stumbles out the right exit on accident. It spots Nomeo once again, but
This is
it
no
can't
good.
reach him in time to make an attack. Oh, and it already used its action anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so there's only one zombie over by Corbain now, after the other one died. That's not gonna hit. It's to Nomeo.
Okay. So the zombie does see me though.
It sees you.
I can't use a sneak attack then.
No, I guess
Okay then.
not.
I'm gonna pull out my manifesto. I think Nomeo's manifesto. I'm not sure what it's on again. But I'm gonna look through my manifesto to see if there's a technique on dealing with zombies, because I am an herbalist. I'm gonna see if I wrote down a technique on how to cure zombies.
Go ahead and take. Do you have religion?
Religion. Where's that?
Yeah, you can take a religion. So that's -3. Okay, it's -1.
That's not bad. Wait, if I roll this, I can't run away. That's my action.
No, you can still move.
Okay.
This is your action.
11 minus 1, 10.
10 is like very average.
I better find something.
I guess you do find that there's a advanced technique to cure zombies that requires a higher level druid or cleric to perform. You don't find anything that you can use.
Okay. Then I'm gonna try to. I guess I'm gonna try to run away back to my. No, I'm not gonna try to run. I'm gonna try to run away from the campus to a sparsely populated area, in the direction of a more sparsely populated area.
Okay, you're faster than the
Yeah,
zombie.
exactly. I'm booking it out of here.
So you're 10 or you're 30 feet away from it now. So.
All right.
Okay, Corbain.
I'm going to summon my butler in a car, or no, maybe like a chariot or something. You're gonna drive me away.
I don't know. How are you going to contact him?
Oh, okay, maybe.
That's fine. You can. It says you can summon him on the paper.
Or you can
think
perform
it-
mundane tasks for
You can
me,
perform mundane
like
tasks.
driving me away somehow.
Sure, you will say he's still in the parking lot after he dropped you off. So you could make your way over to him.
Okay, yeah. What do I roll to like, or do I
Just
just
walk over.
walk
Yeah, you
over
can
there?
just move. Oh, but you are still engaged with the zombie, so
Okay.
it will take an opportunity attack on you if you leave combat. Though you are faster than them, so they
Okay.
won't be able to catch up if you do.
I think you hop it back to the carriage, and I can hitch a ride out of here.
You don't really know.
That's okay. I see the carriage. I hop on.
He's a thief. He sneaks in.
I'm gonna steal.
Oh
the
wait, you can
wheel.
take a disengage action. Actually, I don't know what I'm thinking. Then the zombie wouldn't be able to attack you, and you can move away further
Okay.
than it can move.
I'll disengage action. He's probably too intimidated too after his fellow zombie crumbled to the ground.
He's stunned looking at his brother dead and completely obliterated on the ground, and he doesn't notice Corbane booking it the other way. We'll say next turn you can get to the parking lot and then see if you can find your butler. The carriage parking lot. That goes to the zombie that was chasing Nomeo. The zombie's gonna chase you 20 feet, but it can't catch up. It's gonna snarl at you, but it can't
I'm
do
gonna
any
use
damage.
my charisma to avoid flinching at the snarl.
It didn't even make a roll unless you could.
5.
Yeah, that's high enough.
Let's
The
go.
zombie's not that intimidating.
Okay, I'm gonna book it to the parking lot and try to hitch a ride on a vehicle that happens to be leaving.
Okay, you enter the parking lot. You see that most of the vehicles have left because class has already started. But there was one student who I guess just showed up so late that their butler is still on the carriage. Do you want to try to talk to them to get a ride?
No, I'm gonna try to sneak into the carriage.
Okay.
Is there like a storage compartment?
Yeah, you can just hop in the back.
I'm
He's
gonna
not
hop in the back
paying that
then.
much attention. He's distracted by all the zombies. All right, roll stealth.
Okay.
That's dexterity
That's
plus.
my big one.
Yeah. Oh wait, did you get expertise in that one too?
5.
What are your modifiers?
Okay, I got +2 dexterity. My proficiency is +2.
9. Is it one of your expertise
It is one of my
skills?
expertise.
Okay, so 11. That's still.
It has a star next to it too.
Yeah, that means expertise.
Okay.
That's high enough.
All right.
The butlers and only got average passive perception of 10, so you barely beat that DC with your expertise.
That's no problem.
Okay, then it's Corbane's turn. You're heading towards the parking lot now. You can make it if you move and dash.
All right,
This
I'm gonna
turn.
yell and make a dash for Tim, the butler, and have him. He's gonna rush over to me.
Okay. He's gonna make advantage perception because he recognizes you as his master. Okay, 12. That's high enough. He spots you and readies the carriage for you to hop on. Say next turn you can hop on. The zombie chasing Nomeo doesn't catch up to the carriage. The zombie chasing Corbane doesn't catch up. It's really far behind. We'll say that zombie just goes and tries to kill someone else, honestly. Alright, Corbane, this turn. Or Nomeo, you're already on the carriage. Is there
Yeah.
is there any last action you want to take?
I want to look around the storage compartment to see what he's got in the back.
So this is a rich kid.
Make investigation, and also you can do it at advantage because it's about stealing. Oh, roll this one too. Take the
Oh, it's a
higher,
big
17.
and that's -1. 16. We'll say you find what would be in the back of it's a lot of school supplies.
Found his
It's school supplies, but you find a pouch of 10 gold pieces that Corbane forgot.
Those are my
lunch
gold
money.
pieces
You
now.
can take them.
I like to take them.
All right, Corbane, this is your turn. You can board the carriage, and your butler, Tim, will drive you away.
I'm gonna board the carriage. Look for anything suspicious in the back. No.
You can roll that if you want.
Actually, maybe.
Tim isn't paying attention, but maybe you are.
All right, I'll roll to would it be perception or something?
Yeah,
Or
perception.
it's a D20.
He only rolled 11 stealth earlier, so it's not that high.
14.
You spot someone taking some gold pieces in the back of the carriage. Roll another perception. This is to see if you can tell.
15.
You can tell he's not a zombie. He doesn't have the stench.
Oh, that's good. So I don't attack him then.
You're just letting him beat you. Say anything to him.
Well,
Does he recognize him as the guy who tried to take his seat?
should I roll for that?
Roll another perception. It's a 6. That's not high enough for you to be able to tell.
I think he's just a random student.
Yeah.
Well, I think in that case, since we're escaping zombies, I don't mind him in the back.
All right.
The noble and
Then the
generous.
butler
Yeah, noble,
kicks the horses into gear, and as you drive out of there, you see the town's guard rushing in with a high-level wizard to exterminate the zombies. The next day, when you come to class, you notice plenty of empty seats available in AA 101.
What, is the professor still there?
The professor survived. The professor's strong enough to kill plenty of the zombies. A lot of the students.
That's
died.
true, I guess. The acrobatics professor.
And that's the end.
When I want to show the prof my manifesto.
This
okay, that's
is
okay.
part of the post.
Oh, okay, I see, I
Okay,
see.
the session, like the end, was you guys escaping on the carriage.
I see.
And then when you return the next day, a bunch of students are dead, so there are plenty of empty seats. And you both get to enroll in AA 101 this year.
She must have been impressed by my escape skills. When I dodged and weaved from those zombies.
I think I need a hero's badge from killing that zombie. I'm the all-American hero.
Yeah, I think I do too, actually. I put a bag on a zombie's head. Give me 10
You
more
didn't
gold
do
pieces.
anything, you just almost died.
I'm still only at 3 health.
Well, you're healed over
Okay, I
the
healed.
long rest. But there's nothing else is happening. That's the end of the session. That's the end of session 1
Alright.
of a Pyruvia, where Nomeo successfully enrolls at UP. And that is the official end of session 1 in Pyruvia.
Alright, welcome to the final segment of this podcast. We're going to be doing something a little bit different with Reddit reading this time, going over some Reddit dating advice. I'm sure this is going to help a lot of our audience. We're looking at the demographics, and yeah, this should be really topical. Alright, let's get into the first story right here. So, let me open that real quick. So, right here, my girlfriend agreed when I said I wasn't very attractive. She made a joke about someone chasing me, to which I said, "Oh, I'm not very attractive," which she replied with, "I know," and shortly after, "I'm not going to lie." I respect the not lying part, I suppose, but the first part cut kinda deep, to be honest. I see her as the most beautiful woman in the world, but it's clearly not the same for her. Is this an issue, or am I being oversensitive? Alright, what are your guys' thoughts? Or we could read a couple of the comments at the end, I
Let's
think.
save a couple of the comments for the end. I think it's got to be a bit of an issue. I mean, certainly a good relationship is built on many pillars of, like trust and faith and attraction. But that is a big one there, is attraction. It seems like it would be difficult to have a relationship anyway where there isn't at least some level of mutual attraction, even if that's obviously just one factor. I think it's one you don't want to be missing too much of.
Yeah, I agree with SST Magnate. But, I mean, it's fine if the person you're dating is not the most attractive person in the world. But, I mean, maybe if you don't think that, if you have like crushes on other people, but I think it's at least you shouldn't tell them that.
You shouldn't tell them that.
You shouldn't tell them that.
You shouldn't tell them, "I know, I'm not gonna lie."
You should lie.
I think that here she was joking about someone chasing this guy, and he says, "Oh, I'm not very attractive." So maybe she thought she was keeping on with the jokes when she says, "I know," and "I'm not gonna lie." and he didn't see it that way, and instead it kind of hurt him, and maybe they just had we're on a bit of a different page as to what the humor was in that subject. So maybe under a different context, if she said this again, and in a more serious context, I would definitely, I would not be too happy if I heard that. That's for sure. But right now, when she was already joking, and you were joking as well when I'm assuming you're joking when you agree, oh, I'm not very attractive. I'm going to say don't think into it too much. But if it comes back again, or it's a persistent issue, then I would definitely want to see some action being taken over here.
I think
Clarify what's going on.
I think that's a valid point by SST Mogul. I think, yeah, if you could tactfully assess how attracted she is to you to see if she's joking or not. So maybe, like, I don't know, start wearing, like, tighter shirts or something. Or, like, maybe, like, carry heavy things around with you and be like, yeah, see, and kind of show off your muscles a little bit and see if that generates a response.
Maybe, stuff along those lines would be an interesting experiment, to say the least. Flexing all the time when you're carrying the groceries in.
Yeah, grab an extra bag.
Doesn't say how old he was.
Maybe, like, send her a bunch of, like, hot celebrities and then slip yourself in there and be like a list of pictures and say, like, can you find the odd one out? And if she picks any of the celebrities, you're good.
You would be good in that case. That would be a crazy thing. Either she's intentionally picking a celebrity to make you feel better.
Yeah, that's
or you're
good.
Or she's very unperceptive.
Maybe they're not celebrities, just hot people.
That's true.
Yeah, go on Instagram and, like, get a bunch of bodybuilders and then
That
put
look
yourself
vaguely
in,
like you, yeah.
Say,
Maybe just like the face
odd one.
only, so you can't tell unless you're like also a bodybuilder. But we don't know that.
If you do my other idea, then maybe you will be.
Oh, start lifting heavy stuff over your head. This really works out the whole body, mainly the spine, I think. Compressive action we got going on. Any last thoughts on this first one?
I think we should look at the Reddit advice.
All right, let's look
I
at.
solved it for that guy.
All right, so Magnate thinks he solved it. Let's see what the advice. So Dark R124. Your girl just called you unattractive. Come on, bro, not okay. Stand up for yourself. This guy wants him to fight back. He's gotta confront it. And we got another comment here from this other person, because reasons. Yeah, honestly, that was a jab. It was a low jab, a stab, a cut, and completely unnecessary. Feels like she disrespects you. All right, so we got these two guys here telling him to confront her directly about this and not take that sort of disrespect right there. And maybe this is valid if she said it in a very serious circumstance. But I'm still going with what I was thinking.
Yeah,
of
that's
it being
why
a more joke in context.
I agree that's valid. That's why you need the test. So that's why you need to be tactful.
So I think we're looking at a combination of tactics here in order to navigate this tricky situation. But we're wishing you the best of luck, whoever you are who posted this. Alrighty. Here is our next one. This is a bit of a long one, but fortunately we have author Mantis, Ethan, on the case.
This is expert dating advice. Oh, this is a long one. Wow.
Yeah.
I want to date, but every step I take towards doing so is agonizing. Please help! ! Please help me figure out what's wrong with me. I'm a 22-year-old female currently in grad school. I'm probably pretty average looking, nothing to indicate that I'm super beautiful or ugly. On paper, I have a successful life, very competitive program, looking to make a decent salary. I've done good philanthropic and have a good number of close friends. I'm musically inclined, have been involved with many gigs, Frequently told that I'm very funny and I'm working on writing a novel.
Oh, it sounds like we have just the man to set her up with right here.
Set her up with myself, is what I'm saying.
That was the joke already.
But I've never had a boyfriend. The only time I've been asked out was because my mom would set us up. It resulted in the guy telling me I helped him realize he was still in love with his best friend.
Disaster.
I don't know how to flirt. Every time I try, I get gnarly anxiety. 3 bullet points. What if he realizes I like him and is disgusted? What if other people find out and find it hilarious that I tried? I don't want him to make him feel uncomfortable. And when I try to power through and show interest anyways, I never see reciprocation. Whenever I talk about dating with my family and friends, I feel lots of shame. I don't know what else to do. I'm trying to improve my self-confidence, get myself out there, love the gym, trying to lose weight, learning Italian, working on a philosophy degree along with my doctorate, okay? Working to become more active in the church, okay?
Hey,
Wow.
it's a perfect match.
This is a setup. I'm seeing improvements in myself and I'm proud of my hard work. It's not boosting my confidence, however. Whenever I try making a dating profile, looking at pictures of myself is enough to make me quit before I even set up the account or after I miss a couple matches. I'm at the point where most times I just ignore any man I find attractive because it's less exhausting than shitting bricks when I make eye contact. I feel shame and loneliness whenever I'm not with my family and friends. I can't afford therapy, maybe when I have a salary. So for now, I'd like some tips. Maybe rejection therapy. Anyways. All right, what do you guys think?
Let's get some advice going here. I think that we have the solution sitting here in this room with us. All we need to do, find this woman right here. Let her know about our author friend here, Mantis.
I will say, I also learned Italian at one point. So I think it's...
Oh my goodness.
No, I don't remember any of it. Besides like a few phrases. Duolingo. Interesting.
Well, I think aside from our new segment where we set up our guests with random people on Reddit, I think the obvious issue here is self-confidence. This woman has, frankly, a pretty insanely successful life, just casually dropping all this like stuff she's bragging about, getting a doctorate, having all these friends. I think the issue truly just is self-confidence, and it doesn't just have to be a dating app, although that's obviously an effective technique for many people. But if you don't have the self-confidence online or in real life, it's going to be hard to get anywhere.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think maybe it could help building up some self-confidence using maybe more online dating apps, as that would be less of a should we say in-person scary situation as she's describing, and maybe more easy to swallow and get over as a sort of, if you do want to do more stuff whenever you see some guy you like in person, this could be a way to sort of break that uncomfortability.
Yeah, I think this is the case of overthinking. She's working on her philosophy degree, doing a lot more thinking, and I think she's just bringing that into her relationship where she's having all these different points in her head she goes over. If she just takes an action, takes a risk, it might be dangerous, but at least you're doing something and not psyching yourself out. So, yeah.
I think that once you finish the novel, get that published, and it goes big, you'll have tons of potential suitors.
Just pick a fan.
Why you'll have so many fans?
People are
you can
famous
just
from
pick a fan.
novels? That's a terrible way to start a relationship. Really one-sided, where the person already knows everything about you and you don't know who they are at all, other than that they're a fan of you. I think she's got a great life. She's got all the bases, all the boxes checked. You just got to make that leap. And you'll find someone.
And this is also posted 18 minutes ago, apparently. What?
18 minutes.
Good.
ago.
Then
That's
she'll see the podcast in just like a week.
That's true. We'll have to attach the podcast episode to the comment.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, right now, there are no other comments on this post.
Should we go to our last
So
one?
I think we're going to be going to our last.
Oh, yeah, set
Let
it
me
up.
pull that up real quick.
Oh, you built that.
There you go.
This one's also kind of long. All right.
Wow.
Our final piece of dating advice is for Nice Asparagus 1663. Should I assume they're not interested? This, I guess, is about one specific case, but we'll see. Met on Bumble. They swiped right first and I responded. First date went well enough. They seemed nervous, hands were shaking, but I was fine with it, found it endearing. Second date was a few days later, went well enough. I think and made plans to see each other a few days later. Not totally sure what that means.
Maybe I think.
Went well enough, I think, and made plans to see each other a few days later. Now they can't. Gave me the I'm not feeling well excuse, but asked if I wanted to do something later with no specific date. I responded. They responded back hours later. They've never been prolific texters and often took hours between responses, which I didn't mind, and still to a point don't mind. I only mind now because we won't see one another, and there will be distance for interest to wane if it hasn't already. Should I just move on? Admittedly, I'm in a scarcity mindset.
What is the
I'm in a scarcity mindset and I'm highly anxious. Scarcity because I don't find people with matching desires often, maybe only a few times, and I've dabbled in apps for years. Mutual attraction is extremely rare. However, I'm also afraid to get my feelings hurt. Slap some sense into me, people.
All right, I think it's time to slap some sense into this man. I don't know what he's going on about here. She's not feeling well. That's what I say all the time. And almost all the time, I'm actually not feeling well. So nothing to think of. I mean, her hands were shaking. Maybe he has some sort of tremors going on. But, you know, if she continues to say that she's not feeling well, maybe that's a sign that she's not too interested in continuing this relationship. But as far as I can understand from your post, she said that once, and then when you were trying to schedule something, I guess it wasn't an arbitrary date though, so maybe that would be a bad sign. Maybe you can say something further out then, suggest something maybe when she's feeling better.
Right. Yeah, they didn't follow the rule of if you give a lame excuse, you try to reschedule with a specific date.
Mm-hmm.
But they did try to reschedule with no specific date. So is that worth something?
Well, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Ethan?
I'd be a bit befuddled as well, but I think you need to give it more time. Like, if this person has a scarcity mindset, but is also thinking about, should I move on? That seems like the wrong mindset to have.
Maybe just found the scarcity going on.
I think if there isn't anything to move on to, then I would stick with this and see if the person explicitly tells you she's not interested, or at least keeps repeating the same thing over and over of not feeling well.
Well, I'd give her some time to feel better, and then maybe try to pin down an exact date on where you want to meet up. And she'll either have to say she doesn't want any more of this, or she'll pin down a date with you, and you can keep going on. And if she's a slow responder, I think that's fine. You know, I'm kind of a slow responder sometimes. If she's always been that way, at least.
Yeah, I can't tell if the author and the other person is a guy or a girl.
Oh, well.
It doesn't specify either.
Well, either way, I think the point still stands. Just reach out and see if you can pinpoint an exact date for you two to meet up. And if that's not an option, then unfortunate.
I think that doesn't hurt to give it one more try, even if you feel like you're doing more of the legwork there. If they show up, then they're still interested, and if they're not, well, it only cost you one more try. And if you are in sort of a scarce place, I think that's worth the risk.
absolutely.
There is one comment, but it doesn't really mean anything.
Well, let's read it anyways.
Okay. This is from Wonderful Formal 804. Nothing that happens online is real. Things that happen in the real world are real.
I think he's getting that maybe since the text is online that this partner wasn't feeling well
Isn't?
or isn't feeling well. That they're actually feeling fine because nothing online is real. So I don't know.
Basically, you need to find out in person if the other person is actually not feeling well.
That's true. I think just make a stop by their place. Make a stop by. Bring some like tea and like medicine.
And one of those thermometers
Oh yeah.
put on their forehead. If it's under 100, you break up right
It
there.
better be over 103.
Oh, that's really high. They should probably be in the hospital for that.
No, actually, I guess it does depend. Yeah. If it's over 103, you can take them to the hospital. That'll be your third date, right?
Fourth date is at their funeral.
Oh no. They really weren't feeling well. All right, I think our verdict is to stick it out for one more try.
One more try.
Can't hurt, especially in the scarcity. With the scarcity.
With the scarcity mindset. We should have this guy on to talk about his scarcity mindset. Honestly.
He can be our next guest. Wait, no, I think we have another guest lined up already.
It's the dark forest.
Dark forest.
I should know it. No. Everyone's just too scared.
I think that's a little different. Scarcity. Unless he has like a scare city mindset. He's afraid of going into town or something like
He
that.
lives in a rural area.
It's hard to tell.
Maybe all the people who are his type or her type are just, hiding.
Hiding in the city, and he's scared of the city. So that would be rough if the people you're after are all hiding in the city and you're afraid of the city. But unlikely. All right, I think that's going to be wrapping up our Reddit reading section here, and that's going to be the end of the podcast as well. Thanks everyone for listening, and thanks again to our guest, Mantis.
Do you have anything you
Pleasure.
want to promote?
Well, I'd like to promote my rap album on Spotify, Timeless. You can check that out. That's MNTIS Mantis. And hopefully I'll be continuing to write the sequel. I'm kidding, I won't be writing the sequel.
Oh man, the fans want to see.
I'll be writing a different book. I'll be coming out at an undetermined time.
As soon as that new book is out, you best believe we'll be covering that.
If you thought Ethan was the only good part of our intro song this week, you gotta check out the album.
That's true. Self-produced. All right, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem.